Okay, welcome today for our presentation. Thank you again for coming to this YouTube channel to follow presentations at this hour. I am very grateful having you. For tonight, we shall be looking at something so special, whether you are following the presentation in the morning, afternoon, or this night or at night. You are highly welcome to my YouTube channel. This presentation is brought to you by Donald Vichas, and we continue with part 2 of the program, Understanding Your Growth Process, wherein we started last week by looking at the various things that will help you advance your life. And if you have not been able to watch the part 1 of it, kindly go to my YouTube channel and follow the last presentation. For today, we shall be looking at the topic, common mistakes in building professional relationship. Common mistakes in building professional relationships. It is true that we live in a busy world. It is true that we live in a world where a lot of professionals, a lot of students, young people, job seekers want to advance their life. They want to do something that will advance the cost of their living. And as a result of this, it becomes a challenge when you don't actually understand how to build the professional relationship that would go a long way to sustain you throughout what you are building, and of course in giving you other opportunities as a young professional, as a career, as a comedian, as a musician, whatever thing that you're building. And so by so doing, you realize that the moment you get to build the right relationship, it remains an asset. So relationship becomes that asset that you need in your career. Relationship remains that asset that you need in your personal life that will help you achieve the goals that you need. It is true that we live in a world, but you as a person, you need relationship, you need professional relationship as a tool, as an asset that will help you enhance your growth, enhance your life in that domain where you find yourself. And so whenever you are able to advance in life, you will come to realize that there is a place of relationship in that domain where you are. Following this program right now is a product of someone who actually set out in order to achieve his goals. So relationship will help you. If you are somebody who wants to become fulfilled in life, you realize that the moment you have purpose and you fulfill that purpose, you achieve that purpose, it is for you to advance somebody's life. It is for you to help somebody's life become better. So the ability for you to follow this presentation means that somebody somewhere had to sit down and come out with this platform for us to be able to communicate, and of course you gaining this value through somebody's purpose. And so it is that ability for you to make somebody's life better that will be able to build that sustainable relationship. If you produce something that does not advance somebody's life and make somebody's life better, it is the opportunity for you to ask yourself the question of, are you fulfilling your purpose? Are you advancing the cause of somebody's life? So as a professional, you build the right ideas when you build the right relationship. You take the right decisions when you make the right relationship. And of course, you make the right amount of money if you build the right relationship, because it is the value that you give to someone that the value now will be exchanged with the money that you will want to make, that you will make. And of course, it is relationship that makes life better. So no matter what you're doing, no matter where you find yourself, know that you are connected to various relationships that will help you achieve that goal that you would want to achieve in life. And no matter what you're doing, know that someone somewhere is going to benefit from it. And if you are so intentional about what you want, you always have somebody in mind whenever you are producing something, whenever you are rendering services, and whenever you are doing the right thing at the right time for the interest of everyone. Now, the question that runs through your mind that you should be thinking now is, what must you avoid in order to achieve a professional relationship that can be sustainable? Do you know who to seek professionally for help when things are not moving well in your life? Where do you desire to be in 5 years' time in your career, in your profession, and of course, as a student? Where do you want to be? Whenever you sit down and you have these questions in mind, it helps you build the kind of relationship that will help you fulfill the purpose that you have set for yourself. And of course, the truth is, we are not living in an island, like I rightly said. And the challenge is, a lot of young people, a lot of employees, a lot of job seekers, a lot of professionals build relationship, but they end up committing common errors, common mistakes that destroy this relationship over a period of time. And when you build trust in others and it is broken, it becomes difficult for you to maintain this trust. Why? Because after mending this trust, that relationship that you built over time will not be the same way again. So who is that person that you are building a professional relationship with? Make sure that you avoid these common errors that I will be revealing. Some of these common errors, because there are many, but I will be revealing to you just 4 of it. And of course, you will be able to realize that maybe you have been in a relationship or in a friendship or in a business or at the job site, and you have been committing these common errors, and it has been influencing your professional life negatively. Common mistakes and how to avoid in your profession, in your career. The first point is building with the wrong motives. Building a relationship, building a professional relationship with the wrong motive. It is true that whenever you get into a job, for those who are employees, you let your boss know that you can be able to offer your services, you can work under pressure, you can be able to focus on the objectives of the organization. But you will find out that a lot of employees, after being employed after 1 year, 2 years, and you realize that at the end of the day, familiarity gets into the job. You begin to feel like things that you wanted to do, you don't put those things into practice. And of course, in an organization or in a place where there are no system put in place in order to monitor this relationship, you realize that someone will get into a job site, and you realize that internet that was meant for the growth of the company, you realize that people will be using to download their own things, view their own things. You turn the job site as a merry-making place. You use it as a place to gossip. You come at work, you do not focus on your daily tasks. Instead you focus on your personal interest. So you realize that self-interest becomes the order of the day. Why? Because you do not focus on the growth of that organization. You do not focus on the growth of that company where you find yourself. And this ruins the relationship that you build with others. Maybe you are an employee, and at the end of the day, I'm not saying that it is bad, you realize that you begin going into sexual relationship with co-workers. You desire to go with co-workers into sexual relationship, and this strains your relationship with others, with co-colleagues. And why doing this, it limits your ability to be able to execute with fluency. So you build with the wrong motive, and these common mistakes delay or distort the amount of work, the quality of work that you were to put in place as a professional. And so you should be able to focus on those intentional things with integrity, focusing on the objectives of the organization by using what is meant for the growth of that organization for the growth of the organization, not for your selfish interest. If a car is meant for transporting organizational tools, you should not be using it for your family business, for your personal satisfaction. So what must you do is you focus on the right things that will advance the cause of that company in the right way. And of course, if internet is used for advancing the work at the office, employees should not be using it for their personal satisfaction. So it should be a win-win process, not a win-loss, wherein you get to satisfy your own self at the detriment of that company. And of course, when you do this, you find fulfillment and satisfaction. What are you going to do from today? It is a choice. The second point that we shall be looking at is for you. Common mistakes is when you are always right, when you always believe that whatever thing that you say, you are right. Pride has limited a lot of people from building sustainable relationship. Why? Because they believe that you believe as a person that no matter what you say as a father, it stands, and you are not willing to learn from the other person. Now, people get to feel because they don't realize that we have our viewpoints. I have a viewpoint, you have a viewpoint. And whenever I want to bring in a viewpoint, or whenever somebody in a job site, at the job site, brings an idea, it becomes an opportunity for you to be able to look at things from that person's viewpoint, not from your own viewpoint. So what you must be able to do is you have to put the points of view of others first before looking at what is right by you. You don't believe that whatever thing that you say as a professional, as a boss, it stands. That is why board meetings are being held. That is why you have weekly meetings in that job site, and it goes a long way to build that bond of learning from others, ideas from others, that will go a long way to build that professional relationship that becomes sustainable. What do you do in order to avoid these mistakes? Be humble enough to tell yourself that you are open to learning no matter what, and you can be wrong, and of course you can be open to be corrected by putting other people's viewpoints first. So be open to learning, and you will be able to go far in that career that you're building. The challenge is pride has taken away the ability for us to be humble enough to learn. And of course, the key here is for you to be humble enough, no matter your position in that career that you find yourself, no matter your position that you find yourself, be able to humble yourself to learn, even from a little child. Yes, be able to learn. The third point that we shall be looking at under the topic common mistakes and how to avoid them is when you are building your relationship based on assumptions. You assume that because you can be able to talk with this person, you will end up tolerating a lot of things. You will end up doing a lot of things. Why? Because you get to communicate with that person without putting key principles in place. And of course, when you get to take the right actions, you take the right steps, you realize that the things that you assume about people were wrong. The things that you assume about people are always wrong. So what do you get to do? You don't only assume that somebody can be able to do a particular thing. Let me give an example. If you have a boss and maybe you assume that that boss, because of the relationship that you have with that boss, he will not be able to penalize you, he will not be able to sanction you. That is an assumption. What you have to do is, for you to build a sustainable relationship, because your boss communicates with you does not mean that you become familiar with the boss, but you intentionally become aware of the fact that you can be terminated from that job. Your career, the friendship that you're building with others can be ended. Why? Because of your attitude. Why? Because of your behaviors. Why? Because the things that you tolerate in your life, you assume that because you are friends with this other person, you can be able to do whatever thing that you want to do. And at the end of the day, you find out that people ruin their relationship because of the things that they assume about others. So what do you do in order to avoid these common mistakes? Ask yourself productive questions. Ask yourself the right questions. Take the right steps, and of course, be able to offer the right value in that relationship. Be able to do the right things that will advance the cause of that relationship by not hurting the other person, by not putting your selfish interests in front, but putting the other person's ideas in front by asking the right questions, by doing the right things. And of course, when you do this, the popular saying that familiarity breeds content would be limited. And of course, building forward for the better future as a professional. The last but not the least point is for you to be able, like, the common mistake that people get to make is that of absence of appreciation. Some people lack this ability to show gratitude to others. It even starts from home. You have a parent and you have a child. You are a parent and you have a child. You want to send that child, Junior, please, can you carry me water? You don't even request that child. You don't even show respect to that child. You just command the child, and at the end of the day, you don't even show gratitude for what that child has done. And when you do this, it transfers to your workplace. When your employee gets to do something, when your employee promotes the company, promotes the growth of the company, and at the end of the day, your company is being portrayed out there as a productive company, you get to show gratitude. You get to prove to your employees that you like what they have been able to do. You show appreciation by what your employees have been able to do, and by so doing, you keep on building the right relationship. I really love my boss where I volunteer. She is a kind of woman that she would be able to show gratitude for you, that you realize that what you were doing, you did not really expect this kind of gratitude, but with the appreciation that she shows you, you would be able to do more the next time. For me, I always like to look at new strategies that I will continuously do in order to satisfy my boss, in order to let the organization that I volunteer in keep on growing forward by doing those things that will let my boss be able to be grateful. And of course, when you show this gratitude, it do not only influence your boss, it also influence your personal life, your personal growth in the right way. And of course, as a professional, you should be able to continuously focus on being grateful. Start by looking at those little things that builds gratitude. Show gratitude towards those little things. A child gives you a cup of water. Wow, thank you. Your boss does something to you, you should be grateful. And of course, you're an employee, you are able to achieve something. Your boss should be you as a boss, you should be able to show gratitude to that employee. And of course, somebody helps you with an idea, show gratitude, offer something to that person to show that you are grateful. I remember one time I bought a gift for my coach who actually helped me with the ability to realize certain things in my life. And of course, with sailing me through a coaching session, I had to realize a lot of things, and I bought him a gift, and he was so grateful. Though I did not really look at it as something much, but he was so grateful about the gift, and that equally helped me to understand that whenever you show gratitude, you build power as a professional in whatever thing that you're doing. Conclusively, remember, it is called relationship, which means you can be able to relate with others like a ship in the sea. How do a ship move? It moves gradually. So, for you to be able to build relationship, you should learn how to be patient with others and gradually grow that professional relationship over time. And of course, the more you get to focus on the things that can grow your professional relationship by not committing these common errors, you will realize that your career will always advance. You would always have people around you that will enable you become better in whatever thing that you're building. And of course, by so doing, you become the best in that domain where you find yourself. You become a master in that domain where you find yourself, thanks to the relationship that you have been able to build. Like I earlier said in the introduction, man is not an island. And of course, Jean-Jacques Rousseau once said, man was born free but everywhere in chains. If you don't have the right relationship, you would always be in chains. For you to liberate yourself as man, build the right relationship that will help you free yourself from the chains of life. What will you do from today? Remember, you have the choice. The choice is yours. But I encourage you to take the right direction, take the right steps, avoid the common mistakes that you have been committing in that career, and focus on building the right way, for it can only become better. Thank you very much for following. For this presentation was brought to you by Donald Vichas, your productivity strategies. And I am really grateful. I really want to show my gratitude for always being present at this hour to follow presentation, especially on my YouTube channel. Kindly ask your questions. So if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly subscribe for weekly presentations will always be uploaded on this platform for our growth, and of course, making life better one day at a time. You can share, you can, of course, like. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love you.